Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1,000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It's my first.
If you're new to the Force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today, we begin by popping a recap of Season 3, Episode 4, Amsterdam.
Hamsterdam.
West Baltimore residents get some surprising straight talk at a community meeting from Major Colvin. Bubbles finds gainful employment, Stringer lunches uptown, and Bunk dangles the promise of immunity to a group of corner boys in exchange for a little help. Griggs learns how Marlowe takes care of business as Bubbles instructs her on the next big thing, disposable cell phones. Carcetti reveals his political ambitions and tries to enlist help of an old acquaintance. The cops of the Western ride into the district for a roundup. Colvin delivers his plan to the corner boys, but they're not buying, and a frustrated Cutty opts to return to the game, welcome back with open arms. McNulty reconnects with Stringer, but fails to connect with Perlman, who's otherwise engaged. Ooh, that's, and gave us one more opportunity to see Lance Reddick with his shirt off.
Yes.
This was a big complain. Shirts off episode.
It is. That is for sure. Lots of shirts off. Yeah.
Just Ellie's favorite episode so far. Okay, it was written by George Pelicanos. This is his third or fourth writing, and it was directed by Ernest Dickerson. This is his second episode directing. He also directed Bad Dreams from season 2. Premiered on October 10th, 2004. All right, Ellie, bust out that epigraph for us, please.
Why you got to go and fuck with the program? Said by Fruit.
Peterson, why do you have to go and fuck with the program?
It's just what I do.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a pretty, pretty astute comment, I would say.
Yeah.
I like that. So, and it kind of reminds me of just what they talked about last time is that they're kind of working in a partnership, the cops and the hoppers. So
yes,
anyway,
they are.
Okay. No commentary this time, so I will not bore you all with that.
Okay. It's not boring. It's very interesting.
And all right. Well, let's get into your predictions. So,
all right.
Let's see. You started off with Cutty, said he would get a job interview. I'm giving you credit for that.
Really? Okay.
I
Do you think
would.
this counts?
I mean,
That's not what I was thinking.
He went, well, okay, maybe not. I don't know.
It's okay.
Well, he went back on the job.
He did.
But he won't but this part, he won't like that he's a former felon, which that was not true. So, yeah. Anything, nothing from Omar, so you got that right.
From
okay.
Omar, yeah.
All right, good job. Just to call that you don't think anything's going to happen with that storyline. That's a swing.
Well,
so,
thank you.
Yeah, so good job there. Bunk will be looking for the weapon, but will not find it. Got that.
Mm-hmm.
And start seeing the police officers talk about how to sell drugs.
Yeah. And
no fallout from that. So you're right on that too. So good job.
Okay.
And Stringer and Marlowe, he will talk to Avon. Avon says it's war. Sorry, the discussion about Marlowe from Stringer. So no Avon, no Stringer and Avon conversation this time. So, okay. So yeah, I mean, it's probably 50-50 or 50%.
A little less, but that's okay.
No. Let's see, half there. Okay. And no, I'd say you went 3 and 3.
Okay.
So good enough. All right. Well, I think that's it. So you ready to get started?
I am.
Well, let's do it then.
Okay, so here are the storylines I've got. I've got Welcome to Hamsterdam, looking for a Glock in a haystack, for Stringer, dealer to developer. We've got Carcetti for mayor, and Welcome back, Cutty.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get started.
Okay, I'm going to start with Welcome to Hamsterdam.
Okay.
Let's talk about what's happening in the Western. So I think there's a community meeting going on at a church, and I believe, is it the guy that took over Major Taylor's position that's talking up there, or is it a different guy?
I think it's a different guy.
Okay. Well, that guy is talking. I'm not sure who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he is asking the people who are attending the meeting to please call them if they witness a crime. Everyone's pretty frustrated. They're calling BS on them. One woman says, hey, I tried calling 685 drug to no avail. We see that watching from the back are Marla and Carcetti. One guy says, my cousin Gant, we remember Gant.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
good.
tried to share what he witnessed and he was killed for it. I think he said deader than Tupac.
Yep.
Assuming you believe Tupac is dead. One woman stands up. She's kind of the voice of reason. Everybody stops and listens to her. She says, I don't care about your statistics. The fact is, basically, we're scared in our own homes. And then Colvin comes up. He says, I hear you. I see what you see, but I can't promise you that it's going to improve. Even if we arrested everyone, we wouldn't have a place to put them. Someone asks him what the answer is. He says he's not sure, but whatever it is, it can't be a lie. And that's pretty much it. He sits down and the other guy takes over again. I'll share more on what happens with Carcetti in the back with his exchange with Marla when we get into politics a little bit later. But yeah, that's that exchange.
The fact remains, the police department can't do it alone. We need your cooperation.
My cousin Willie Gantt cooperated. He went downtown and testified. He did it in Tupac today.
Look, I know the problem seems insurmountable, but we are making progress. Take a look at this chart. This line here represents I have the microphone, ma'am.
Let the woman speak.
My kids, they can't play outside no more. Some nights when we hear these plops, we got to sleep under our beds. I come home from work. I can't even get up my front steps because they occupied by the drug dealers.
That's right, you tell them.
Is that in that picture you got up there?
I'm Major Colvin. I apologize for giving you the wrong impression tonight. We mean no disrespect. I know what's going on in your neighborhoods. I see it every day. Ma'am, it pains me that you cannot enter your own front door in safety and with dignity. But truth is, I can't promise you it's gonna get any better. We can't lock up the thousands out there on the corners. There'd be no place to put them even if we could. And we show you charts and statistics like they mean something. But you going back to your home tonight, we gonna be in our patrol cars, and them boys still gonna be out there on them corners, deep in the game. This here's the world we got, people. And it's about time all of us had the good sense to at least admit that much.
So, what's the answer?
Well, I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it can't be a lie. It's all yours, Sergeant.
Yeah, and I think it just kind of reinforces what we've known all along. Is like Colvin is just he's on his way out the door, and he feels like he might as well just go out, not trying to varnish anything that doesn't exist. So yeah, and it's kind of interesting because as a citizen now, I mean, in a weird way, like you're looking to your kind of the leaders of institutions to try to provide some guidance, some leadership,
right?
And for the citizens, they're like, well, the police have to have some kind of plan for how to solve this problem. And for them to just come in and him just come in and say, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just not going to lie to you about it. Right. So anyway, yeah, I wasn't quite sure what who gave him a can of gasoline and a match.
Yeah.
Other than I just imagine that walking out of the meeting, people just must have been incredibly frustrated.
Yeah.
Because they just feel like they're on their own in a way. So,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Not only that they're on their own, but it's like, it's we need you to do some work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm putting this on you. You need to report things, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Yeah.
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 That's a yucky feeling for people in that community.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, next up, Colvin, who is on his way out, right? He's meeting with a couple guys from Johns Hopkins. One seems to be some kind of an administrator, and the other one is the head of security. He used to be police before, too. And they have made an awesome offer to him, it seems, and the job would be pretty easy compared to what he does presently. Mm-hmm. They say the worst he would see is rape.
Yep.
Maybe date rape.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But he's reluctant, it seems. And frankly, like the way that the admin guy talks to him about his cheesecake and taking a tinkle, you could just see that it's like not really Colvin style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or not really police style. They're like, what? Maybe he's taking a dookie.
Yeah.
So yeah, this does not seem to be a good, a fitting path forward for Colvin is what we're seeing.
Huh. Interesting.
Do you think it is?
Well,
he'll adapt. I don't know. I think he'll just be like, oh my God, what did I do? This is so pedantic.
I mean, you're 100% right about that. That's interesting. Because I honestly, like, I mean, the guy was like incredibly annoying.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're like, ugh, why would you, you know, but.
You don't think it bothered him as
not,
much as I
not
think?
enough. I mean, I think that for him, he's, you know, I'm sorry, you really actually thrown me because I don't know that I ever really thought about this guy as being his demeanor being something that would throw Colvin off. So it's curious that now to make me think about like connecting all the other components of the episode to this meeting and seeing like, is this motivating him one way or the other? I mean, it is interesting to think about. Just I won't step on it too much, but you know, this whole interaction with all the kids,
Right.
you know, comparatively, like, you know, and although it is kind of funny how this guy, this Johns Hopkins guy is talking a little bit like a, you know, toddler or whatever, like using this infantile language.
Yes.
And then he's actually talking to kids and, you know, a little bit later and it's just a whole different thing. So I don't know. I guess like maybe my takeaway is like, this is just one of those, this is just some of that bullshit that you put up with,
right.
You know what I mean? So anyway, sorry it took so long on it because it just like really threw me off there, your question. So,
okay.
But I like
maybe it just bugged me that much.
Oh no, it did. Absolutely. I mean, it's just one of those things where you're going to put up with some kind of bullshit one way or the other.
Yeah.
Really. So it's just a question of, you know, what you want to accept. And
right.
Anyway, but that's it. Yeah. That's all I got for that.
Okay, well, let me see here. Let's move on to what happens next for Colvin. Make sure I don't miss anything. My gosh, there was so much in this episode.
There really was, yeah.
Okay. I think next up that we see Colvin, he's debriefing his guys and he's telling them, let's get everybody into the free zone. And what comes next is this montage of officers that are talking to dealers and pointing in a direction that I guess is the free zone, right? Vincent Street. And we see Carver Herc and another officer. Is it Colicchio?
Yeah, Colicchio. Very good. Mm-hmm.
They're lecturing some guys against the wall about where they need to go. Carver then sees one of the guys, peanut butter and jelly. What? Peanut and jelly again? My God.
Right?
Okay. So often this is used. And he drops, it looks like a red top from his pocket, some kind of a vial from his pocket. And they ask him his address, and he just says like Dolphin Street or something.
Yeah.
He does not give them a number. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't even know what his house number is or what his living conditions are. So he gets arrested, and Colicchio tells them that the free zone, Vincent Street, is going to be like Switzerland or Amsterdam. And Herc explains to them that these are places where drugs are legal. And then when they leave, one of the guys says, I ain't going to no Hamsterdam.
Yeah.
So hence the name.
Yep.
You know, kids, this is a simple fucking thing we're saying here. If you stay on this corner, you're going in a wagon. If you move yourself down to the free zone, down to the vacants along Vincent Street, then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
How much fairer can we be?
Hey, I saw that, you little fuck. What's your name?
Huh?
You got a name?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Address?
Huh? What's your address? I stay up on Dolphin Street. Your address, numbnuts. Huh? Are there any numbers on the front of your fucking house?
Listen up. This corner is indicted. We're coming back tomorrow, and when we do, everybody wears bracelets. Unless you move your shit down to Vincent Street, down where the houses are all vacant. You do that, we don't give a shit.
Vincent Street is like Switzerland. Or Amsterdam.
The fuck is that? It's one of those countries where drugs are legal. Vincent Street is your Amsterdam and Baltimore.
You go down there, we don't give a fuck. You stay here, you go to jail.
Of the episode? And the new name of the location, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the term Amsterdam, obviously, right? That it actually just catches on, so it's just kind of interesting. So, yeah, this is I just really enjoyed this scene.
Yeah,
just the guys giving back to Carver, Herc and Carver. Just I don't know why, but I just really like the characters. I just think they're funny characters and they really play it well. I mean, that's the thing. It's like this is I think their only appearance. In the whole series, and they really go for it.
They do. I like the next scene too, because what we see next is that the guys have not moved over to the free zone yet. And so, guys up against the wall again, Carver and Herc ask if they're stupid, huh?
Yeah.
And to which they are rightly offended. They're kind of like, why you got to do us like that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I don't know why they don't move over, if it's just the disbelief that they're going to be okay to do that there, or just an unwillingness to change how they're doing things. They already have this territory figured out or whatever. Anyhow, this is where Fruit says the epigraph, why you got to go and fuck with the program.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What did we fucking tell you, man? We told you to get yourselves down to the free zone, didn't we? We're trying to give you guys a break. We're offering you, amnesty. You take your crew down to Vincent Street. You do your dirt. Nobody's gonna bother you. What do you say? You guys fucking brain dead? What do you say? Huh?
Yo, Chief, how you gonna come up here and try to game us?
Say what?
I'm saying you acting like we retarded or something.
Better we put a foot in your ass?
At least you'd understand it.
This ain't a trick, shitbird.
Look, we grind and y'all try to stop it. That's how we do.
Why you gotta go and fuck with the program? All due respect.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they see it as entrapment, or basically,
okay,
the way that Colvin sold it to his troops in saying we're going to round them all up and then we move. That's how the dealers are seeing it as well. They're like, you guys are just going to put us all over, then you're going to arrest us all in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that whereas when they were moving around, they were kind of spread out so much that they had time to disperse and all that stuff. So, the dealers clearly don't trust. Why would you trust the police officers? You're clearly just setting them up to get arrested in a much big grander scale. So,
Then again, there they are already being like, some of them being arrested, and I don't know. It's interesting that to me that they kind of don't take them up on it. But Colvin and Mello are in the free zone, and it's like tumbleweeds.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is there. And Colvin tells Mello, get some buses and let's round everybody up and give them the news. And he says, I'm not asking anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going down.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So moving forward quite a bit, there is one point where we see, I'll talk a little bit more about Bodie and Cutty talking on the corner. There is a point at which the bus comes and they see these guys getting rounded up into buses. Later, we're in a school gymnasium where all the drug dealers are. And man, just seeing them in a school gymnasium, they look so much like kids.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are like, there's the one little kid. He's like, my mom's going to be worried because they've been kidnapped, right? But all of the ones too that are older, they look like young teens when you see them in that setting. It's so weird. Colvin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, it's just the sheer number also really was kind of breathtaking.
Yes, for sure. And all boys.
Yeah.
Colvin tries to talk to them. They will not listen to him. They're razzing him. One guy says, I gotta pee.
Yep.
He lets him go. Somebody else needs to go.
Yep.
And it's funny. The guy that says he needs to go too is the kid that tried to sell Colvin drugs.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
It just starts to fall apart in there. They are laughing at each other's jokes. They're screaming. They're booing. A fight breaks out. And then finally, this principal comes in. The beautiful red tips her hair. She settles him down. She's got the voice. She's got the voice that you need to get control of children. Take it from me. I worked in education a long time. Anyway.
I was going to say, how authentic was that voice?
That voice was so authentic.
Yeah.
And just the no emotion from her face, too. She doesn't look mad.
Yeah.
She just looks stern.
Yep.
She asks one man, Tyrell, why he wasn't in school and tells him she knows his mother and that woman didn't raise any clowns.
Yeah.
They all look properly scolded. And then she hands the mic back to Colvin.
Yep.
But it does not matter.
No.
The minute he says, you're about to learn, they just start throwing shit and booing again. I'm like, get the principal back in there.
Yeah.
Let her give the information. They're listening to her.
Right.
But he just looks Colvin just looks super frustrated.
Yeah.
And just like he doesn't know what to do next.
Yeah.
So.
The fun is over. Terrell, why weren't you in school today?
My stomach hurt. I couldn't make it out the bathroom.
Stand up when I talk to you, young man. I know your mother, Terrell. She didn't raise any clowns. Now, did she?
No, ma'am.
It's yours, Major.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we brought you down here because you're here to learn about the new way that we're going to do things on the court.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and so I have to ask, like, have you ever had a moment in a class like that where you just completely lose it by using, you know, the wrong word or phrase or something like that?
You can't say balls. I'll tell you that right now.
Why not?
Yeah, you cannot say balls because somebody's always snickering in the back and then everybody else is snickering. So, yeah, you got to be really specific. The basketballs, or you say, if you're, you know, teaching science like I did, the spheres, go grab the spheres.
Right, nice.
Yeah.
Yes, good one. Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to put that as a life lesson. Use you know, the proper non-dirty
exactly.
or, you know, whatever. Okay.
It doesn't take a lot.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, of course, it's so interesting. I don't know, I feel like that must have been Ed Burns' influence right there, because as soon as you use the term learn, like, and kids just immediately have this like visceral reaction.
What?
You know, I'm not here right now. I'm not in school. You don't get bother me. So, and I just, you know, I know your mother and she didn't raise any clowns.
Yes.
God, that is a great line.
Oh, yes.
So anyway,
those boys too do the best job of just looking properly rebuked. You know,
exactly,
they're just standing up like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I got to learn how to, you know, I'm 15 years into my parental journey. I still don't know how to
laying down the line like that.
Yeah. But no, it's so interesting just to see like the best intentions, right? Like it did seem like it was the smart play, and you're putting it in terms that this is clearly going to be better for you, and they just are refusing to believe it. So it's just kind of one of those things where it reminds you about how hard it is to get people to shift from what they know.
For sure. For sure. You know, I found out about that principal.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
So her name is Vera Hawley, and she's a real middle school principal. And I guess she worked on a program with Ed Burns.
Oh, is that right?
For schools. Yeah. And so she really was a middle school principal.
Good job.
I know. Isn't that cool?
Okay. I looked her up too. I was trying to find her myself. You were more successful than I did. I did find a Vera Hawley in Maryland. She's a special education teacher, coordinator.
Oh.
But I don't know if that's the same person. It's
it
just,
might be. I mean, it's not that common a name.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think I knew that, but anyway, good pull. Good pull, Ellie.
Good job, Miss Holly.
And
say
she
that.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Shall we move on to the next storyline?
Let's do it.
Okay. Looking for a Glock in a haystack. Oh, Bunk. Poor Bunk. He's going to have a heart attack, I'm afraid. He is talking to a group of rounded up young black men, and he tells them they can get a get out of jail free card if they have any information about the whereabouts of the gun that shot Dozerman or about a peanut. He slides the cards into their pockets and their hats, and one guy kind of shirks when he tries rudely. Standing by are Herc and Carver, and nobody appears interested in talking. I think he even repeats himself, and they're like, huh? Somebody is. Anyways, they are all taken away into a van, and Herc and Carver seem really tickled by Bunk's desperation. It's very sad. He's like, I had to try something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's a bad situation for Bunk.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's being put into he's got this task ahead of him, and it's just kind of one of those things where it's still on his mind, though, the double murder, right? The double homicide, I should say. And, but he's still got to do this because it's bureaucracy, the inaction kind of thing. Yeah.
So much bullshit.
I just have to give credit to Colicchio.
Yeah, I don't know how you say it.
Because, like, one of the kids says something, and he just, like, stands up straight, and I'm like, whoa, damn. So,
there.
Yeah, he's got a presence to him. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, well, let me see here. Back at Homicide, Bunk is trying to sneak into his cubicle. And unfortunately, he's spotted by Landsman, who gets on his case about the missing gun. Yet again, really annoyingly, with sipping on his big gulp really loudly. But then in comes Kima. She says hi to Mr. Bunk. Hey, Mr. Bunk.
Yep.
So cute.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, girlfriend. And then she walks past. She's looking for Vernon Holly, not Vera Holly, Vernon Holly. And Landsman looks at her ass as she walks away, saying he could murder that.
Yeah.
Barf. Big barf. Oh my gosh. If she wasn't, quote, particular.
Yeah.
What? Oh, maybe she just doesn't like disgusting, gross men.
Oh, shit.
You tried to sneak by me, didn't you?
I was just coming in quiet and respectful.
Well, for a big man, you do have a dancer's grace. But I have the eyes of an eagle. And the fact that you tried to slither into your workspace undetected does not bode well for the recovery prospect of our missing firearm, does it?
I get it.
What up, Mr. Bunk?
Hey, girlfriend.
Vernon Holly working tonight?
Yeah, he's 4 to 12. You should try the coffee room.
Yeah, right.
Man, I would murder that if she wasn't.
Particular?
Hey, Crossfield, that line is blank is for you.
Find that gun.
Yeah, okay.
So, sorry, I just have
Yeah.
to. Well, first of all, Landsman is just, I mean, he is so over the top.
So over the top
he,
in
like,
every way, shape, and form.
Well, first, yeah, so let me back up because his entrance is just terrific. Just
Coming
like,
up
you know,
from
he
the
just,
wall.
yeah, he's got his drink, and then as he decides to go over the wall, he's slurping. It's just, that's terrific. And then, but then, you know, when Kima walks away, he like leans down so he's at eye level with her ass,
yes.
which is hilarious. But of course, like, Bunk's no angel. He like
He's
just
not.
turns
Oh my
around
God,
and
he's
leans
not.
back too. So, you know, but then
Yes.
God, Bunk's comment of particular,
Yes.
it's just like he might as well just slap Landsman in the face with that line. Holy crap! So anyway, which is just kinda funny.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Bunk and McNulty are at a bar. McNulty wants to know why Bunk is buying tonight. And after admiring a pretty lady that walks by in a pink skirt, he's definitely got a type.
Yeah.
He likes blondes, blonde white girls. He tells him that he needs to solve the 2 murders at Pimlico, and to do that, he needs Omar. Yes, again, Jimmy laughs at him because he needs Omar again.
Yep.
And Bunk's like, okay, fine. You know, he grumbles. And as he does, then they look at the pretty lady again and decide they will try the number 2 on her. And to remember that Bunk is feeling really blue because his mama just died.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I mean,
I'm telling you what.
Oh, yeah. God made that. Couldn't be no accident.
So why am I on your tab tonight? Tell the truth.
Dad had to walk by me and guess. You better not.
Why you buying, Bunk?
I got 2 dead. What feels like a drug rip up in Pimlico. And the youngins out on the scene, they seem to know this Omar fella by sight. I need Omar, Jimmy.
Again? Jesus, Bunk.
Yeah. Fuck it then.
Number 3?
That worked for you last time. The blonde at the juke.
Oh, I really liked her.
That likes everybody when they kissing. But no, my friend down there, she's a number 2, I think. And when it comes up, my mother passed. We go. And I'm having no trouble getting over it. That's why I'm feeling so blue tonight.
Okay. Your mom's dead and you're sad.
You my boy.
Same way.
well, actually, that's a good point. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting Bunk's wife's name.
Felicia.
Nadine. Yeah.
I would say Felicia for some reason.
And
Just thinking
it's
that.
like, I guess he's probably still married. So
Yeah.
you
Oh
know,
my gosh.
Yeah.
I even saw his boy.
yeah,
Ugh.
that's right. I mean, if you hadn't seen this, if this was your first season watching as it was for me, you wouldn't know that because
No.
Anyway, but we all know
We
that
all
Bunk,
know.
you are a dog. So
He is a
the
dog.
thing I wanted to figure out though is what was his opening line, because he's, you know, you
I
see
know, but
him
you just
saying that,
go
but you
over
just
there
walk
and talk
over
to-
and, yeah,
My mama
you
just
know.
died.
And I was like, if you know, hey, you know, my mom just died. I'm feeling pretty sad. You know, do you
Yes.
mind if, you know, do you mind if we drink with you? Hey, you know, have a couple of drinks with you. I feel like, okay, that would be a line.
Maybe,
You know,
yeah,
and you know,
yeah.
2 girls in a bar and 2 guys in a bar. Sure, I don't know. That seems like it would work. I
Yeah,
guess.
just coming over and saying that your mom died.
Yeah.
It's not going to do it.
Right.
For me.
For you, okay.
Nope.
Even if it's Bunk, even if it's the Bunk.
He's real cute,
Yeah,
but no, I don't think
yeah,
so.
no. Okay. All right, and I, by the way, this is just for research purposes that I'm positing these, and you know, possibly giving my son some advice later on. So you know.
Oh my goodness. All right. That's it for Bunk.
Mhm.
Shall we move along?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So let's then get to, the case. You know, Stringer, crimes, department, everything. Let's just do it.
Okay.
This is the meat, folks. Here we go.
Yep.
Bubs, Keem, and McNulty are enjoying some Mickey D's for breakfast. They are discussing Bubs' compensation, which will be $5 an hour, $30 on the day. They ask about Bub's friend Johnny, and he tells him that Johnny does not care for being a CI.
Yeah.
And that he's lazy besides.
Yeah.
Laziest white boy. Bubs tells them that it's been a while since he punched a clock, so they ask a little bit more about that, and he tells them that he used to work in an appliance warehouse moving stock, but that I think what he was saying is he tried to steal a clock radio and got caught, and says, you know, that's me, born fuck up. He didn't even need the clock radio. So a little more on Bubs and his background. I like that.
What you need from Bubs? Exactly.
Lay of the land. Who has what corners now that the towers are down?
I want to know what happened to the Barksdale people especially.
And this pay how much?
Let's treat it like a real job. Say $5 an hour, 30 on the day max.
That's the minimum wage.
There's no withholding, Bubs. It's tax-free.
All right, it feels good to be out here, you know? I'm gainfully employed.
What your boy was coming to?
Johnny? I don't think much of this here with y'all. Besides, he happens to be one of the laziest white boys to ever sit between 2 shoes. Me, I've been working since I was a kid.
Yeah? What's your resume read like, Bubs? Just curious.
Well, I ain't claiming no payroll job, Kima. But it's been a while since I punched the clock.
When was that?
A long time ago. Before I had a sheep. Shoot, I was still playing. Got one of those stock boy jobs. One of those cheapest guys in town stores. Unloading appliances. Taking air conditioners and shit out to the customers' cars. Like that. How many more?
What happened?
I put a clock radio on the trash can one day trying to be cute, got caught. I didn't even need the clock radio. See, that's me. Born fuck up. All right, you know what? $5 an hour, 30 on a day. That'll work. Huh?
Yeah, me too. And I don't know. It's just, and I guess we don't need to hit it that hard, but I just feel like it just that it shows how close a lot of people are to going from like gainful employment to just being exactly, and being just destitute. It's just crazy. And and I think that, connecting it to Carcetti, I know we haven't touched on it, but he's saying like, oh, come on, I've heard that, lift myself, or willing to work for it or whatever. And you have this situation where, Bubbles made a mistake, right? And, there's no trying to gloss over it. He tried to steal, it would have been petty theft.
Petty theft,
But that loses his job, and then, and that might have been all it takes to knock him off. And now he goes and starts trying, using drugs to kind of get through the day or whatever. And that's it. So it just, it really just feels like he's a good person who does want to work, but he's still got all of the weight of the climb that's in front of him just to get to kind of a level of stability. You know what I mean? Now he's got to piece this thing together. Meanwhile, we talked about last time, Johnny doesn't have any interest at all in trying to find any kind of gainful employment. So obviously you see that dichotomy.
Yeah.
So just anyway.
I know.
But I just I wanted to focus on it for a little bit just to kind of bring it, hopefully even clearer that anybody that kind of looks at people in poverty and ascribe attitude or
right.
And I guess attitude is kind of like what I'm thinking about. It's like you just don't know. You don't know what their perspective is. You don't know what they're trying to do.
Right.
And so just because you're getting a snapshot of them as being in poverty doesn't mean anything one way or the other.
Right.
You need to understand the much broader picture, which is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I think that's, when you don't have a lot to begin with, it doesn't take much to knock you off course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bubs is watching things on the corners carefully. He is making his buys. He's talking to other people on the street. He seems to be trying to find out which guys are where. At one point, he ties his shoelace and he looks to the side where we see fruit on the corner. And then Marlowe's Yukon rolls up and Bubs gets a good look at the license plate.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of barely hear him repeat it to himself in that moment, too. So he is getting some good intel. Jimmy and Kima then come into the office. Oh my gosh, this scene.
Yeah.
Freeman asks to what they owe the honor of their presence. And McNulty says they're just checking in. You got anything going on here? And Freeman says kind of passive aggressively that they don't have much. They're just trying to make way on the Kintel Williamson case.
Mm-hmm.
And McNulty says, we're working too on our own thing. Stringer Bell, maybe you've heard of him.
Ugh.
And what ensues is this huge argument between the two, with Freeman saying, you owe Daniel some loyalty after what he did for you. He took you off a boat, Jimmy. And McNulty says he's a boss. Fuck bosses and fuck loyalty. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I could not believe he said that. Like, fuck bosses, I get, but fuck loyalty seems pretty important in the police. Anyway, Freeman says that what they're doing is a chance to, quote, be police.
Mm-hmm.
And then McNulty finishes with, well, be one.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, he just said, you're not police, basically, because you're doing this. It almost comes to blows with Kima saying, Jimmy, don't, when he looks like he's going to go at Freeman. Freeman says, like, he's not worth the punch, and that's when Jimmy looks like he's about to punch him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Freeman finishes with the truth that McNulty burns down everything he touches.
Mm-hmm.
And the look on McNulty's face, that hits home. And he also chastises Kima. He's saying, I'm surprised at you, girl. Daniel's raised you from a pup. And she looks guilty as hell in that moment. Oh my gosh, she looks like, she just looks like she feels bad.
Yeah.
And McNulty and Kima leave. Caroline and Prez look like they wish they were anywhere else.
Right.
The little eyebrow raise that Prez does at Kima, she walks out just like, well, this is interesting. And just when you feel like the tension is too much to take, I love this. Freeman comes right back in and tells Prez to check on those fucking properties.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. That scene is so good. But you just see the side of Freeman that you've never seen. We've seen McNulty be an asshole, but we have never seen Freeman come like just full of rage like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good.
Slowly,
Not in right now. All right.
What do we owe the honor?
Just checking in. Why, you got something going on?
Nothing too sexy, just pushing the case uphill inch by inch on Kintel Williamson. Our stated target.
We're working too, Lester.
Yeah, on your own thing. You even listen to me, McNulty?
I got a real case to bring in. A fella named Stringer Bell. You might have heard of him, I don't know.
You got a mouth on you, boy.
Still out there, Lester. He's got his corners, his money. Fuck it, by now, for all you know, he's got all that downtown real estate. Motherfucker probably owns half Baltimore without us even knowing it.
That ain't the point.
You even know what happened to all that real estate, Lester? All that downtown property Bell has title on? Fuck no. He's probably laughing his balls off right now at you, me, Daniels, all of us.
You even pretending to speak for anyone other than yourself, McNulty?
I'm speaking for the job.
You want to talk about police work? I was doing the job when you was just dreaming on it. Daniels was out there too. Now you're gonna fuck him when he pulled you off a goddamn boat?
He's a boss. Fuck the bosses.
Maybe Daniels plays a few games to get by, but he's cost himself plenty for the sake of the job. He's earned some loyalty.
fuck loyalty and fuck you, Lester. I never thought I'd hear that chain of command horse shit come out of your mouth.
Motherfucker, I spent a lot of time in a lot of weak units. More than you. Now, this here may not be perfect, but it's a chance to be police.
Well, then be one.
You're not even worth the skin off my knuckles, Junior.
Jimmy, don't.
You put fire to everything you touch, McNulty, then you walk away while it burns. I got nothing more to say to you. Nothing. And you, I'm surprised at you, girl. Daniels raised you from a pup.
Gotta get with Bob's.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I was trying to figure out as you were describing it again. I was like, okay, so what's McNulty obviously is when Daniels turns away from Stringer, and McNulty is so fixated on it that he feels betrayed essentially by Daniels, even though Daniels, as Freeman said, got him off the boat, right?
Yeah.
And so, now, Freeman's point that you owe Daniels basically forever is obviously silly, right? Because, just because you do one nice thing doesn't mean that you have undying loyalty forever. But at the same time, Daniels isn't betraying McNulty in the sense that you still get to work on cases and you still get to, be a murder police essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I've been on weak units. This is something still.
Yeah. And so McNulty's comment that, well, then be one is, I mean, obviously he's wrong because it's like, wait, the only definition of being police to you, McNulty, is to chase the person that you say.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're not police. Like, how does that make any sense?
I know. He's so black and white. Yeah. It's not like I can, do some work on this Kentel Williamson case. Yeah. And then on the side, I can try to also, he's got to be just like one track. Yeah. Right. He can only focus on this. He cannot focus on more than one thing at a time. Ugh, it's his way or the highway.
Yeah. So when we talk about the scene later where he comes back into the detail, it'll be interesting. We'll have to kind of square all that together. Yes. So, but as you said, like it is Freeman's, kind of approach. I mean, I think that I'm trying to obviously I'm trying to come at it from his perspective as well. Like, why do you think he's getting so angry at McNulty?
I think McNulty is kind of acting like he's the only one that cares or the only one that thinks he has any kind of focus on what's important. And I think Freeman feels insulted by it. I think he's like, you think I don't care that Stringer got away? You think I don't, that's McNulty's, what he's putting forward. Yeah. Is that nobody else cares as much as he does. Yeah. It's just people have a different way of dealing with it.
Yeah, actually, that's it. That's what I think. I think that's exactly it. It's like when you care about something and you need someone to be equally invested, right? Because you're on a team, theoretically, exactly. And their behavior makes you think that they're not. Then you yourself feel. I don't know what that feeling is. I've felt it many times, but I don't know.
I get this in my relationship because I'm definitely the more passionate, more heated person. So something will happen, whether it's in the news or whatever, and I'll get really worked up about it. And then my poor husband, who is more even-keeled and level-headed, he'll be upset, but he won't seem as upset as I am, or in the way that I am upset. I'll be like, you don't care, you don't do, And he's just like, I do. I just don't need to go start a fire because of it.
Yeah. So that's, believe me, I identify with that.
You
100%.
Are me, yes. And your wife is my husband.
Yeah, pretty much. And on that score, that's, anyway, so I think you hit the nail on the head, which is that, Freeman cares. He wants to continue to do good work. And here is McNulty not contributing anymore in the way that he was. So, yeah. Okay, but that whole scene altogether is really, really good. So good. And so, and we see some interesting ripple effects come out of it.
Yes, we do. All right, well, Bubs is in the back of McNulty's car. He tells McNulty and Kima that they have people along Argyle and Fremont, and that the Avenue corners appear to just belong to everyone, whether they're Barksdale guys, independent guys, gangster Webster's guys, whoever that is. But the Lower Ave and the Poe homes belong to Marlowe, aka Black, who is this young guy. And given how lucrative that area is, they figure that Marlowe must be a Barksdale guy, right? Like the Barksdales would never not have that area. They would never have relinquished that area. They ask if they have a last name on Marlowe, but Bub says, show me some money. And then he gives them that license plate number. So great scene.
I'm asking them corner boys if they knew where the Barksdale package be at, and they looking at me like I ain't even talking. On this strip, Marlowe's the name right now. There it is. You see?
Didn't stay too long.
Yeah. Marlowe's ghosted.
Let's see here. Shall I move on?
Yeah.
Okay, Daniels has had some drinks. He comes to visit his lovely lady, Rhonda. Yes. They're being all cute and sly sexy about stuff. And then she gets him to come around the corner and sit on the desk next to her. And then she shares that Avon is already up for parole. But don't worry, I have written a letter about why he shouldn't be. And I think while they're talking about that letter, is she feeling him up? Is that what's going on there?
I don't think so.
Okay. He's like looking at her. I mean, she's leaned over in a way and nobody knows what's happening below his waist or with her arms. It's very strange that she has to be leaned in that direction to read the letter to him. So I'm saying, look at that scene again and tell me if it seems like it. But here's the thing, because afterwards she makes a comment about how nice his suit is and that he, quote, dresses left. So that makes me think that at the very least he has an erection in that moment.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Parole hearing. This suit.
He fingered a dirty guard up at Jessup, apparently. Got a big gold star next to his name.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, well, not to worry. He sent me hearing notifications for a reason. Mr. Barksdale ran a continuous violent criminal enterprise and was a major drug trafficker. During the years 1999 to 2002, he was strongly suspected to have ordered or caused the deaths of over a dozen individuals. Parole Commission's not going to walk him on his first trip to the plate. Not after a letter like that.
Good work.
I have my moments. Nice suit, by the way.
Thanks.
I see you dress left.
I had to look up what dresses left means.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. So
I did not know. It's for, may I say, for people that don't know, if you are getting a suit tailored, then the tailor will ask if you dress left or right. It's like the way that the man hangs so that he doesn't touch your stuff when he measures your inseam.
Okay. I just assumed.
Did you not know that?
No, I mean,
That's
just
the long explanation, but it's
Okay.
basically the way you hang, the direction you hang.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what I got.
Yeah.
I never thought of it as a, like, do you do it intentionally? I don't know that I ever put a thought into, like, which side
Well,
I'm going.
see, now you need to think about if you get a suit tailored.
Okay, all right. On the other, I guess.
Because somebody might ask you if you dress left or right.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, on the other, well, you know, it's not
Oh,
like it's
my
complicated, but I just, you
Right.
know.
Right,
I'm
like,
going
just
for it, whatever. What the fuck?
measure my right
So
side,
I
not
mean,
the
you know, I guess on some, you know, it's funny, Ellie, because I'll just use this opportunity here. I actually feel sympathy for women because as they're growing up, you know, their breasts are starting to form.
Oh, yes.
And I just feel terrible. I feel like they should give teenage girls like these giant suits of armor that are all the same size, so that they don't have to worry about that. You know, the different sizes.
God,
and
I
stuff.
know,
and,
for real.
And you know, I didn't learn about this until recently, but the breasts grow at different rates. Which is just like, what the fuck?
I know, it's just
you
not
know,
fair.
If ever you wanted to wonder if you believe God is real and that God is a man or a woman, it is definitely a
It's
man
definitely
because
a
no female God would ever do that to women. But
it doesn't make sense. Like if your feet are going to be that close in size, why can't your boobs?
Right,
I just
exactly.
don't get it.
But then I was just like, the reason I bring all that up is because I'm like, so obviously you know that men look at women's boobs. Do women
What?
look at guys' crotches with regularity?
Not if they can avoid it. But what I find is that men just seem to be
It was
always
staring right at me.
They just be putting that shit on display with the way y'all sit.
Really?
Yeah, man. Taking up real estate, legs all wide apart,
Yeah,
one leg
yeah.
up on a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, this is not a life lesson, but gentlemen, do not manspread.
Don't
It is
manspread.
so ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
You know, just
Ugh.
be conscious of your personal space. You know, like no more than shoulder width. Come
Thank
on,
you.
come
Yes.
on.
Your
Just-
balls
let's
don't
just-
need that much space.
even on a hot day.
Not
Okay.
even on a hot day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but just to go on, so the message was pretty clear about what the scene was about. Just to get us back to
Yeah,
remember how
sorry.
we were talking about The Wire? Remember that show?
Yeah.
But you know, and it was interesting. I liked Daniels' comment about that's some bullshit.
That's some bullshit.
The fact that this whole thing was. Even he could see how staged it was, so that was pretty funny. And obviously, it's clear. Like, wait, you're telling me that this drug kingpin is, identifying the source of contraband in prison? Come on, get out of here. So it all stinks to high heaven, and they can see it. So
For sure.
And Rhonda being so confident, it's very interesting that's. That's how she's approaching it. I wonder
that she
if
thought that would
maybe
work.
she had known or she had been more diligent about it, if that conversation with Avon and Levy would have gone differently.
I know, and she knows how sneaky Levy is. Not sneaky, but just how he handles things.
Yeah.
He's just so good about getting around stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, McNulty is looking up an address for Stringer, and it's the same one as has shown up for him before. Kima remarks that he's a settled guy.
Mm-hmm.
The name on the place, though, is for a woman, an older woman. And when Prez suggests that maybe it's his lady, McNulty says not unless he likes them over 50, an asshole ugly, which gets a very unapproving look from Kima.
Yep.
So Kima says, but I'm sure she's really nice, good school spirit. Kind of a weird thing to chime in right there, but it's very useful because Prez then says, oh, you think you met her in college? Oh, wait. That's the moment we remember college.
Mm-hmm.
Stringer's
Mm-hmm.
going to night school.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, that is how McNulty recalls that bit of information for his surveillance on Stringer.
Yep. Yeah, that line, I don't.
A little
Every
convenient.
time I watch that
Yeah.
line, it really
Out of nowhere.
hits me. Yeah, I mean, and then, I thought his response was kind of, I actually kind of enjoy it. Like, I'm sure she's got a good school spirit and stuff. Like that part, I feel like it's not not going to erase what he said, but it's just one of those things that you say to be like, oh no, but on the inside she's she's a doll, so whatever. But
that's what counts.
Yeah, I mean, but God, like
personality.
referring to anybody that way is really that's
asshole
so,
ugly.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. So anyway, but so okay, well that gets us to the next step, I think.
Yes. So Kima, in the meanwhile, puts in Marlo's license plate number, which is tied to an address of another woman over 50. That's how they do.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got a serious rap sheet, and they don't tell you what it is. Kima just shows McNulty. She says that she's going to head to homicide, asks McNulty if he wants to go, but he's got something else to do. And she tells him that she feels shitty about what happened, what went down with Lester. He says, you get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that really just goes to show that like McNulty is almost sociopathic, really.
Exactly.
Like he just doesn't care.
He could
at
just
all.
be okay with somebody feeling that way toward him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
I would feel so sick to my stomach.
Oh my God, yeah.
All right, let's see here. So she talks to Vernon Holly, and Holly tells Kima that Marlo is, quote, spawn of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he was going to go on trial for a murder charge, and they had a witness named Pooh Bear. What is up with all the Pooh names, Chris? Pooh Blanchard, Pooh Bear, Poot,
It's just one of the
Puddin. I mean, that's still a put.
Yeah,
Okay.
Peanut. They're just not that either. They're not that original, or it's original to that particular group. I guess.
So. Okay, Pooh Bear.
And once Pooh Bear's dead, like he doesn't own the name forever, right?
That's true.
So,
Anybody else could have it. So Pooh Bear was going to testify against him. They had, I think, an ankle monitor on Pooh Bear, so they could locate him quickly. He went somewhere to get hydro, which is hydroponically grown weed. I had to look it up. I'm sorry. If I don't know something, I have to look it up. I'm such a dork. Me and my
I just laugh because I don't know that people are like, wait, is this hydroponically grown? I'm not using this regular soil shit.
That's what Vernon Holly calls. He calls it hydro.
I believe you, and I am sure that I'm sure that why they call it that. But I also think that it's probably just okay.
I mean, I'm with you. Like, who cares?
Yeah, all right.
We just read.
Okay.
Maybe it's not. I don't know the specifics.
No, I know. I'm sure that's it. I did not know that. I just thought it was funny that you're like, I like
know.
the idea of there being connoisseurs out there that
Yeah.
are, I can only get my hydroponically grown weed over at this place, even though I'm putting my life in danger. So
yeah, because that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
He gets turned up, shot dead. So that's how Marlo got off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, where was Jimmy all this time? He was at his son's science fair, and his son is disappointed in the volcano that he built because it was not as cool as the computer some kid built himself. And as McNulty's about to say goodbye to Elena, she tells him, and she doesn't feel comfortable about this, clearly, that he hasn't paid his alimony.
Yeah.
And that he's 4 months behind, I think. He says, I paid $2,000 a month in child support. I don't have the money. She says, my lawyer says we have to serve you again. She's saying these things through her lawyer because she doesn't want it to be from her.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weak. But McNulty says, I don't have the money. Why don't you get your rich boyfriend to cough some up?
Mm-hmm.
I think, what does he say? Blood from a stone?
Yep.
That's what he finishes with.
Yeah.
Kind of acts like a jerk about it. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely acting like a jerk. No, I mean,
Right.
what the fuck? Like, with that suit of a boyfriend, like he's not involved. He's not
exactly.
responsible at all. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And of course, like he's just doing it just to piss her off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I mean, thankfully I'm not involved in divorce. And I remember reading an article like 20 years ago about how it can be like a couple can actually be back together and you can still get served and have your wages garnished because you're still owing. The state says you owe this much. So
Damn.
and it's just, man, it's brutal. So McNulty, of course, nobody put a gun to his head to sign the separation agreement. So that was obviously
That's
it,
true.
and he actually ignored advice from
His own lawyer.
from his lawyer to
Yep.
do that. So just kind of, he's
He was so
in a situation
confident
of his
that they
own
were going to
making.
get together.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so it's but it does feel like it's just a shitty situation all around. Like I don't think Elena. I mean, McNulty's being a complete asshole, but Elena's like, what? I don't know. It just feels like, why are you? You have to know all of his finances.
I
What
know.
are you trying to get out of him?
$3,000 a month in 2004 in Baltimore.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of money to me.
I mean, a policeman's salary.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
I wonder now that I think about it. $3,000 a month. I mean, police officers probably making mid-50s at that point. I mean, I'm not saying that
a year.
So he's paying $36,000, and I think that's tax deductible.
Okay.
So, I mean, I wouldn't know, but I do see that question every year when I do taxes.
Well, he's spending a lot of money on booze.
That's
That could
true.
Probably
That's true.
go
That's true.
towards
So
that
anyway,
alimony.
yeah. But nevertheless, like to give more than half your salary to alimony and child support, that'd be brutal. So
I'm sure it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kima catches up with McNulty and tells him what she found out about Marlo. They hypothesize that he might be working with Stringer.
Mm-hmm.
And McNulty says he's going to catch up with Stringer using something that Prez said, which we remember. Speaking of Prez, he is at some city office. He is trying to get every deed transfer involving the company B&B.
Mm-hmm.
The guy he's talking to is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Not Benedictine and Brandy, I guess. And that he needs it today.
Yeah.
That day. So, anything you want me to... Or
I mean,
you want to mention here?
I wish I knew that actor's name because
yeah.
the fact that he has no like half his teeth, upper teeth, it's just like crazy, and he's like he really does a good job with the line. So,
I know.
Yeah.
P&P? No,
Yeah.
B&P.
Yeah. Oh, Blazinski. Yeah. Just good stuff.
Blazinski, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kima catches up with Bubs. Bubs tells her that on that corner, he's trying to ask where the Barksdale package is at, and they act like he isn't even talking. The only name he keeps hearing is Marlo.
Mm-hmm.
And then he points out Marlo's car, and you see out the driver's side window a burner phone thrown to the ground, and then passenger side window, Fruit is talking to him, and then just like that, Marlo takes off again. You don't even see him; you just see his vehicle.
Right.
McNulty's at the front desk of a college, the college that Stringer attends, and there's a young woman working the counter. She says, "We don't give out the kind of information you want." McNulty replies, "You can come back with a warrant. This guy's really bad, domestic violence, terrible crimes against women." And she says, "I'll bring up the screen. Maybe you just see it. We've seen this happen in previous cases too, where they go in there and somebody just leaves it up on the screen for him."
Yep.
So he's going to get some information that way.
Yeah, this one also really is, I don't know, it really kind of rubs me raw because, we know he's going after this drug kingpin, but he's totally just being awful in manipulating this woman. It's
totally. Yeah, I know. He's saying exactly what he needs to say to get her to show what she probably shouldn't be showing.
Yeah.
All right. Bubs comes back with another report. He says, okay, from here to Fremont is all Barksdale, East Siders, freelancers, all on the same corners, which, again, they're just like, what? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Bubs asks if they can quit for the day. It does look like he comes in, he's all sweaty, like it's super muggy out there. And besides, he's got like this phone in his hand. It's up to his ear. But there are no minutes left, so he tosses it out the window. And Kima asks, what's the deal with the phones? Bubs explains to her that they're burner phones. Every once in a while, you can find one that still has some minutes left and sell it for a little money. And when they are out of minutes, people just toss them on the street like trash.
Yeah.
Literally just tossing them on the street. It is unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I think I heard about a program where they would go around and actually clean up the phones and collect and essentially to harvest all of the different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Next, we see McNulty's face in the window of one of Stringer's classes. So we know that he's on the tail of Stringer. When Stringer leaves, it's dark out and he gets in his car. McNulty's watching him from across the street. He calls Stringer's cell, and Stringer answers B&B.
Mm-hmm.
And McNulty says nothing, but you can tell he's pretty jazzed that he has got Stringer's number now. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, just a note to those monitors that Stringer's on, or that's in that computer lab.
Yeah.
Whew, those things were like,
oh my God, I know.
50 pounds,
Ooh,
crazy,
I remember.
and like you actually had to accommodate how far back you could, your computer desk, or it had to be like a certain
how deep
depth.
It had to be. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you all missed that experience. So
remember that day, days of going into the computer lab at college.
Yeah.
Type up your paper.
Yeah, try mounting that on a wall.
Oh,
and plus that actually, going into computer lab. Yeah. Although, not a life lesson, but if your school has a computer lab, I actually recommend it because it's distraction free.
That's true.
Like if you're at home on your computer, it's like, let me just check the internet real quick. And, so
that is true.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's see here.
Sorry, I threw you off.
That's okay. Okay, we see Krawcheck,
mm-hmm.
who was the developer guy from season 2.
Correct.
Yes. Senator Clay Davis and this other guy, who I don't know, are having a nice lunch with Stringer. And they're talking to him about the potential uses for some properties that he owns, which includes residences, maybe. So to kind of back up, in season 1, we learned that Barksdale had a number of properties that he bought up simply because I guess there was grant money for people who agreed to have them condemned.
Yep.
Like they would pretend they were buying them to flip them, and then they would get grant money to have them condemned they could be redeveloped. Right. Okay. So anyhow, Clay Davis says, this area where you have properties, we want to make this high end. He mentions the Hippodrome project, and the Hippodrome is a theater in Baltimore.
Nice.
It was built in 1914 and then renovated in 2004.
Well, all right. Good job, Ellie. She's on it.
And they tell him with that and with the stadium there, he is on the ground floor for some really lucrative developments. Stringer gets a call at that time about an order that was made. We don't know what the order is, but it's definitely the other business. And McNulty is, again, across the street eating a big pita or something like that and watching a falafel and watching all of this go down. So, yeah.
Yeah, just, you've got it.
Callback.
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
callbacks.
definitely. So,
yeah.
But, there's not a ton to it, but just how you're seeing kind of, obviously this is where I think, like almost like where Marlowe probably would want to get to. You want to get to the point where you're doing legitimate business
Right.
and you're not in the game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. And then obviously it all kind of plays out near the end. So
Yes, it's fascinating. McNulty comes back to the unit, and he kind of reluctantly sits at the table with everybody. He tells Freeman to rip him a new one about where he's been the last couple days. You know, Freeman says, go for it. So McNulty fills them in about his findings on Stringer. He tells them he's even called Stringer's cell phone. And then Freeman says, wouldn't happen to be this number, is it? And he says, yeah, it's the number. And, oh, yeah, he got that from the circuit court. The calls that Stringer's been making are all downtown numbers, architectural firms, attorneys, zoning offices, etc. And every exchange on that number is clean. And Kima points out that if it was drug-related communication, it probably would happen on a burner phone. And then she puts some of them on the table. They say it's the latest in yo tech. I love the reference to them as yos.
Yep.
The question, though, is how are you supposed to get a wire on that, right? So I assume there's going to be more there. This is getting into my prediction zones. So regardless, Stringer's turning into a legit developer, and it's time to start asking him about it. So Freeman says, I'll buy you some time with Daniels, and you better come back with a case, or else you need to rejoin this case on Prince K.
Yep.
So yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Some peacemaking happening here, and some mutual, you know, like, McNulty's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, you are a real good detective, and I need to be more patient, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I mean, in a weird way, I guess now that you say it that way, I think you're right. It's kind of the opposite side of the coin that we were talking about before. Like Freeman was really frustrated because McNulty wasn't bringing anything to the table for the Williamson case, and McNulty was frustrated because Freeman had abandoned the Stringer case, and now here's Freeman with all this information that McNulty can use. So now McNulty is feeling like, okay, you've given me all that I could have expected from you, and then Freeman's saying, look, you gotta commit.
Yep.
And then so it's a nice little. I feel like they really wrapped it up nicely.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take a minute to think about the challenge at the beginning, right? So they were watching Cheese, and he wasn't taking any calls directly.
Right.
It was all face to face.
Yep.
So that seemed like a challenge, but they never actually like got past that, right? I mean, they never figured that part out.
That's right.
And now here's a new challenge. So it's like that one was essentially they did not overcome that, but now they're coming at it this new way. So now it's a different problem. So, and so now, as you said, like, okay, well, clearly they're going to figure out, they're going to work on this particular problem as well.
Oh, yeah.
So see how
they hit the burner phones pretty hard in this episode. I mean, if you don't guess that something's happening with that next, you're not paying attention.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Stringer comes to Donette's door. She is not happy with him disappearing on her, and he says basically, I was just so busy. And she says, do you know how it feels to be here all alone with the police showing up and no one beside me? And she shows him the card that McNulty left and tells him that McNulty told her that Dee wasn't a suicide, that he was murdered, or that he suspects murder. Stringer crumples a card, says, look, everyone knew that Dee was Avon's nephew. There's nobody who would have tried to mess with Avon in that way. He also apologizes for keeping her at arm's length and says he won't do that anymore. And then he starts being all sexy and kissy, and then they start making out, and then it just goes to photos of Dee and Donette and the baby. I don't even know what to say. Oh, Donette, come on.
Well,
I see through that bullshit.
Well, true.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's hot, but still.
Yeah. So, again, Idris, what is up with your tongue, man?
Oh, he's a tongue guy.
What the hell?
Sure. I don't know.
Dear Lord.
I would not say no, but
okay.
I mean, it's just a lot to look at.
Yeah. I mean, I like Donette. She's a professional. That actress is a professional. So. I do have to laugh though before I get into the picture of her in that little thing.
Yes.
It's so weird. It looks like a driver's license photo. Like, why is that your picture?
I think that's what they probably had to they found some photos of her.
Oh, yeah,
So
sure.
She's
Yeah,
private.
yeah.
She's now smiling, and they are so weird.
Yeah.
I
It
thought
was-
the same thing.
Yeah, so I just thought that was a funny little thing. But the thing that I picked up this time was I think that the reason Stringer showed up was because it's clear Donette, there's a phone call where she tells him that when she finally gets in touch with him, she tells him that the police came over. Now he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Now I've got to
damage control.
connect. Right.
Yeah.
So I just never really connected with me before. I just thought like, okay, well she eventually wore him down, but no, he's like got to keep her close now because he wants to make sure that he is able to control the discussion.
Yes.
And so that part was, so that's interesting to me, of course. And, I think that there's just one other funny part of it to me anyway, that, I just would have thought it's almost like the house party at the end, which we'll talk about is, obviously it's just, sex going on all the time. And I would have thought that if you're in Stringer's position that, you would be looking for, sexual contact as much as possible, but it seems like he's
kind of
we
monogamous.
don't see that. So, so it's just that part I thought was kind of interesting. So, he just has put it aside. So he's just, prioritizing accordingly. So anyway, just one of those things. Now he, could have had a girlfriend somewhere else or whatever else, but he just, Donette is, not at all part of what he was doing. And I think that that's like maybe part of the discussion or the context last time was he went over to her apartment the first time to try to get Donette to go see D'Angelo in prison. And, then he just stayed with her potentially just to make sure he knew what was going on with D'Angelo, I guess. So that's just, I mean, he's icky. Yeah, definitely. So that little side move.
That little shuffle to the side.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be able to say no. So,
I know. It's pretty cute. Okay. Well, after getting busy with Donette, Stringer gets into a car with Shamrock and he looks at some receipts, which are apparently for buying phones, which I guess is burner phones since that's what we're talking about here.
Very good.
I think he says something about, a run from Virginia or Virginia. Did they come from Virginia or what does that mean?
This will become clear, but yes,
okay.
that is exactly what
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he tells Shamrock that this is going to be his responsibility now. And that if Donette calls and Shamrock cuts in, tell that bitch you busy. Ugh. God, I hate that. And he says, put it through.
Yeah.
To put it through.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
So Shamrock's kind of like, what? All right, you changing it up on me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Stringer's not the only one getting his. McNulty's trying to. He tries a booty call on Rhonda. He's at her door. Ronnie. And then finally, Rhonda, yelling her name. And she's on the other side of the door. She's just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And then McNulty backs away from the door. He turns around and he realizes Daniel's car is there.
Yep.
And Rhonda and Daniels watch from the upstairs window. So awkward.
Yeah.
And then, Daniels just closes the blinds very slowly at the end of that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So then Daniels and McNulty, we see, have met up for a drink to talk about the weirdness. Daniel says, I wasn't waiting for an opening. It just happened. I should have told you. McNulty says, I wish you both the best, and asks if he was loud the previous night. Daniels reaches out for a handshake, which McNulty takes. It's a nice moment.
Yep.
And Daniel says, thanks for making this easy on me. He leaves. McNulty decides to hang out and have another. And then another.
Yeah.
He sees a pretty lady down the bar. He's about to try to talk to her when her boyfriend comes to get her. And he lurches up. He heads to a payphone, but he kind of changes his mind. I guess because he's just like, who's he going to call?
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And just kind of bangs his forehead on the phone. And that's it for McNulty in this episode.
Yeah. I wrote down Dominic West can play a hell of a drunk.
He can. Really, yeah. He and Bunk together just play drunks brilliantly.
Yeah. And then, just a funny thing about the scene with Daniels, but McNulty and Daniels, Dominic West lets slip a really thick O on ocean.
Okay.
Which was you ever been down to the ocean?
Ocean,
and it's just like
yeah.
so which I just thought was funny.
Yeah,
Like he
comes out sometimes.
he started out with the Baltimore accent, got rid of it, and then it showed up that one time. And then I think it was just why you got to fuck with the program. I think just like he had this program all coming,
you're
and now
so right.
everything is like now off kilter.
Yes.
So that part is really interesting as well.
That is so true.
Yeah. So I just had to throw that one out there, which I just thought was and just backing up the scene or the shot of him through the peephole.
Yeah.
Is it's like the Wire subreddit like avatar.
Oh,
which
is it really?
So which I just liked. I thought that Rhonda was like I didn't quite understand why she went down to the front door and then she kind of freaked out. I thought that was a little silly. But because like why did she need to go to the front door? Like I mean, if he's gonna bust open the door, what's she gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? So either they both should be down there, or they're should both watch on the window.
Agreed.
But anyway, it doesn't. That otherwise you don't get the peephole scene. So that's
true.
Kind of funny. So
we need that scene.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, and then that did give us an opportunity to see Lancer with his shirt off, as I said. So
indeed,
yeah,
indeed. God,
okay,
he's ripped.
Yeah.
All right, at Avon's parole hearing, or is it a hearing?
A
meeting
I think
or something like that.
I think technically it's not a hearing.
Okay.
It's not the parole board per se, but it's like this is what we agreed to. So just getting final confirmation that this is it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They were looking at the letter from Rhonda,
right. Yes.
and so they're I don't know exactly how they would have all gotten in the room together, but Levy is basically just refuting it and saying, but remember that this guy helped you out immensely. So let's just honor what we agreed to.
Okay. So it is just a meeting.
Yeah.
But he basically says that letter's bullshit, that his client's got a great record, that he ID'd the source of the overdose deaths and therefore should be let out as previously agreed. We've got Trooper Kevin Reynolds there again.
Welcome back.
What a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pissed about it. He's not very happy about that situation. Mm-hmm. So that's it there. Avon's getting out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe we see him on the outside next episode.
Okay.
Call it a prediction.
Sure.
All right.
Okay. We'll write that down.
Let's move on to Carcetti for mayor.
Okay.
All right. So let's go back to that community meeting where Colvin addressed the people. And in the back, as I mentioned, we had Carcetti and Marla. And Carcetti joked to Marla that Colvin had put a tank of gasoline on a fire in that situation. He tells her that he knows who she is and that she is going for Unetta's position. And as Colvin walks by, he kind of watches him like he's a commodity or something. It's kind of interesting the look that he gives Colvin as Colvin walks by. Anyhow, Carcetti's later having drinks with some other guys. I just know Pete is a name I know. Ange, someone else, I'm not sure. Anyhow, they're having drinks. They see on the TV that there is another murder in the news. One guy says like Marone first, which Marone is Italian slang for damn. One of the guys makes a joke that was probably perpetrated by an African American, and I'm not sure how that could even be funny, but Carcetti has to point out that it's not funny.
Yeah.
He says this is why people, both black and white, are leaving the city, and he tells them about that meeting that he was at with Colvin and how mad people are about what's going on in their community. One of the guys says, well, they could just get better jobs and move. And Carcetti says it's not about that. You don't think there are good people in the Western. It's weird. I like Carcetti so much in this moment. He's saying all the right things. Yeah. He seems to be somebody that really cares and really gets people. Anyhow, they talk about Carcetti's next move, Senate seats he could probably take. And then he says he's going to run for mayor. And they laugh until they realize he's serious. And at that moment, in walks a pretty lady in a nice suit. And Carcetti gets this intense look on him. His looks are always intense.
Yeah.
He makes a bet with the other guys that if she lets him sit next to her and buy her a drink, they'll each give him $10, $20 if he F's her. God damn. He says, be classy, gents. I'm married. Shows this ring. Like we know that matters to him.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
One of the others says, yeah, right. One's a gash hound. Gross. That is gross.
Oh my God. That never occurred to me.
That's so gross.
That is gross.
That's gross. Okay. Anyhow, Pete passes. He's not going to put any money down. Anyhow, Carcetti goes up there. He does exactly what he said he would. And then Pete fills him in. It appears Tommy knows this woman. It's Teresa D'Agostino, Mario D's kid. She's in D.C. now. She works as a campaign fixer. D'Agostino doesn't appear to have a lot of respect for Carcetti, who has apparently had a sordid past. But he reassures her that he's different. He would never want to mess up things for his family, his wife, his kids. Such a good guy.
Yeah.
And he tells her he's going to run for mayor and that she's going to run his campaign. She scoffs. She tells him, you're the wrong color, among many other issues, that she doesn't like to play the long shot. And, she tells him to go home and sleep off his fantasy. But it does seem like he has maybe convinced her a bit. She does look intrigued by the idea and that there would be a huge bonus. She could name her price.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, and I just a reminder, like I still think at this point, even though Carcetti is trying to become mayor, I still feel like he's got good intentions.
That's the thing. It's like these moments where it seems like he really has good intentions, and these other moments where it just seems like he's just ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's really well done. It's balanced nicely.
Yeah.
You have to like him enough,
Mm-hmm.
right? To kind of want to see what happens next. If he's just an asshole, then he's just, that's
right.
We don't need another villain in here.
Yeah.
So it makes him an interesting character.
Yep, definitely. Well, yeah, as with almost all characters in The Wire,
Indeed.
they're not all one way. So
Indeed. Okay, so let's get to Cutty.
Okay.
Shall we? Finish up with Cutty here. Cutty is working up a sweat on his punching bag again. He must have boxed.
Good intro for Ellie.
I
for
don't
the
mind
episode.
it ever. ever. Then he's in the back of the truck again with the landscaping guys. A nice SUV comes up by them at a stop sign. It's pumping music. The driver looks over at Cutty, kind of like he's a loser,
Yep.
And the boss man who's driving the truck, I don't think we know his name.
No.
Okay. He sees us look from his side view mirror, this kind of exchange, and we move on. We're at some property where they're doing some landscape work, some yard maintenance work. Cutty's trying to start a lawnmower. He's pulling the shit out of the cord to no avail. It's hot. It's buggy. And the boss man is just like whittling a stick.
Yeah.
Looks at him, shakes his head. Then he comes up and he asks him if he's primed it. And he tells him, what priming does, how to prime the lawnmower. Cutty says, I've never actually used one of these before.
Yeah.
Because why would he?
Right.
Where's there a lawn where he lives?
Right.
The boss guy says, oh, that doesn't surprise me. And he tells him that he only hires guys who are, I guess, on parole, like Cutty.
Yeah.
On paper, he says. And we gather that he himself was in jail too. He also says, this life is hard and there are no rewards. It's like the worst motivational speech ever. I mean, it's real, but man, it's just some hard truth right there. It's sad.
Did you prime it? That little rubber ball right there next to the spark plug. Got to push it in 3 times before you try to start it. Gets the gas going to the car.
You want the truth? I ain't never used one of these. Never had no call to.
Yeah, well, I didn't pick you up for your landscaping skills. All these Spanish, they on paper too. Only use people like y'all. Sometimes it comes back on me, sometimes it works out fine.
Well, how long you been uptown?
10 years.
Hotter than a motherfucker out here.
Yeah, it's hot. Every day. You're gonna be riding in the back of that hard truck, bouncing around. Every day. And your back's gonna be yelling at you. Every day. I used to drive an SL. Pretty gold convertible. Nice rims. I don't even think on that car no more.
You put it behind you, huh?
Some can. I'm just saying, you want to stay on the straight. Ain't gonna be no big reward to it. This is it, right here. Prime that bitch 3 times. She'll start right up.
No, I agree. Yeah. I'm trying to. Well, what I was going to try to counter with, I think, is that if you were to talk about what, going back to the drug world was about, like, that's not flattering either. So at least on the, staying on the straight means that you can, you're essentially free from, the real negative consequences, right?
Yeah.
The only the one negative that you'll have is the struggle, right? And it's going to exist for a while, and but at least that's what you have. Whereas, like, if you go back to the life, then it's going to be, you're surveilling, guys on the street corner and whatever other risks you have.
Yeah,
so,
it's interesting too. The boss guy kind of talks about this really nice car that he had. He doesn't even think about it anymore. And anyhow, Cutty gets dropped off, and the boss guy just, says out the door to him every day, just to drive that point home.
Yeah.
And Cutty immediately goes to a payphone, literally right there goes to a payphone, tries the number that he originally got from Weebay and Avon, but nobody answers. It just goes to operator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's move on, shall we?
Sure.
Bodhi is complaining about how they aren't going to... He's complaining that, hey, I can't believe we're not going back at Marlowe's people after the beatdown that we got from them. It's messed up that they are selling where they are selling, that we are not there. He's really frustrated about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Cutty comes up and asks for Slim Charles. And Slim Charles is right there. He says, who asks? We know it's Slim. He tells Slim that he tried the number, but it didn't work. And Slim says, well, you waited a long time. We changed the numbers every few days. Bodhi's still hot and bothered. He asks, ain't you know nothing? What Slim tells him, chill out.
Chill.
Respect. Respect. I love Slim Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Slim asks Cutty what he wants, and Cutty says, I just want to do anything that pays. He calls Poot over, tells him to call Shamrock, and to tell him that the soldier has finally come into camp. Bodhi chimes in again, once again quelled by Slim Charles.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
But then Cutty says, Bodhi Brodus.
Yeah.
And tells Bodhi that he remembers when he was in diapers, that he used to spar with his brother James. And Bodhi kind of almost smiles. And Cutty asks if James is still around, but we hear that James has passed. He's been dead, is what he says. Anyhow, that's when Colvin's buses come around, as I mentioned before. Slim Charles tells Cutty that they need to get him a gun. And as they leave, Poot is trying to make a call on a burner phone, but has no minutes left, and he throws it on the ground.
Yep.
So there we go. Cutty's coming back to work as a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, how we not going throw a few hot ones at the motherfuckers? One ass whooping and we back off like some bitches. And then we on this off-brand ass strip right here. Ain't even enough trade for Poot and his crew. It's some bullshit, man.
Look, man, Stringer gonna fix it, man. You'll see.
Which one of y'all is Slim Charles?
Who asked?
That be Cutty. Your boy gave me a number, said to ring you up when I was ready to put in some work, but no answer.
Took your time calling back, right? Numbers don't play after a few days, man. You change them up.
Yeah, ain't you know nothing?
Respect, dog. Respect. Man, y'all don't know who y'all talking to, man. You still ain't say your business, man.
I'm trying to get put on.
What you got in mind?
Whatever you got that pays.
Yo, Poop. Come here, man. Man, look, man. Call Shamrock, man, and tell them soldier finally came into the camp.
You a soldier, huh?
Chill, Bodie, man. Chill, man.
Oh, Bodie Brodus?
Yeah, that's right.
Shit, I remember your little ass when you was still in diapers. I used to spar with your older brother, James. That boy had a killer left.
Yeah, when he ain't drop it.
Yo, he's still out here?
James been dead.
Oh, Cutty.
Yeah, poor guy. I think that just one thing to note about Chad Coleman, his face when Bodhi says that James been dead, I don't know what, I just don't know how you come up with that expression.
I know.
But I was just like, he's sorry.
Yeah.
But you don't say sorry, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine that's just not something you do in that environment. But you still have to show contrition, or you feel bad about it. And he just, it's just like, it's just burned in my brain.
Yeah.
Just that shot of him. So,
Agree.
Yeah. And of course, it's just Slim Charles, who's played by Anwan Glover, this whole episode, he is just so good.
I love it.
And
Chill.
And I mean, it does remind me too a little bit about like, how Bodhi has, whether intentionally or otherwise, he's always got like looking for this father figure kind of thing. And so every time there's somebody there that is providing that kind of guidance, he just like responds right away, which is just great. So, and Slim Charles filling that role is good.
Yes, so, he's got gentle giant energy.
Yeah, 100%. So,
All right. Well, Slim Charles, Cutty, Gerard, who's the guy with the dreads, and then the smaller guy, his name's Sapper, right?
Correct.
Did I get that? Okay. They are watching one of their guys doing a deal, and this guy's wearing a really nice, super expensive Bullets jersey. It's like $430, they say. Sapper says he wants to get one, but Gerard jokes that with as small as he is, he better get a Muggsy Bogues jersey, which I love. Muggsy Bogues was the same height as me. 5'3".
Can you dunk a basketball?
I cannot.
Oh, okay.
All right. Slim says the point is he's been short of the money he should be getting given how much he's working. And Cutty advises that they look beyond what he drives and wears and asks if he has a girlfriend and if she is wearing expensive jewelry like a diamond. They say she doesn't have a diamond. She has an onion.
Man, that's him right there in that G35, man.
Boy, in the retro?
That shit is tight.
$430 it better be.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna get me one of those motherfuckers.
You must gonna get that Muggsy Bogues then. Little mini-me ass gonna be swimming in that on sale.
As usual, man, y'all fools are missing my point. That boy came up short on that money last week, and y'all see he out here grinding. So where that money at?
You need to look beyond what he driving and wearing on his back. That boy got a girlfriend?
You went with this little freak up at the high school.
She wearing ice?
She wearing an onion. That's about all I can remember.
Hell yeah.
Yo, check out the girl. High school girl with platinum around her neck. Only one place it came from.
Give my man this thing. Sig Sauer. That ain't no Larkin, dog.
I'm used to revolvers, man. 38 don't jam.
Don't hold 15 neither.
Game done changed.
Game the same. Just got more fierce.
I don't know what that means.
I looked it up. I have no idea. I have to assume it means a nice butt.
Is it? Okay, it's a butt? Okay, she's got an onion.
You know.
Like an onion butt. All right, cool. I have no idea what
a
that
Vidalia? I don't know. I want a specific kind of onion.
I know,
really.
what kind?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Walla Walla? I don't know why that's so funny, but it is. Okay. While in the car, they give him a handgun, a Sig Sauer. He says he's used to revolvers because they don't jam and that the game has changed. And Sapper has this look on his face like, who's this has-been?
Yeah, yeah.
And Slim says the game's the same. It's just got more fierce. Okay. Bodhi and the guys decide to have a party. I think that I don't know if the party was already going on or if Bodhi and the guys put it on for Cutty. Cutty does seem to be a guest of honor of sorts. There's loud music, a lot of pretty ladies. There's just people having sex wherever.
Yeah.
Buck naked in hallways. It looks like they grab 40s from the bathtub.
Yep.
Slim Charles is, I think, smoking pot.
Yeah.
And Cutty remarks that he's surprised Avon allows this sort of thing. And Bodhi says, sometimes you got to.
Yep.
Cutty takes a big sip of smoke from Slim Charles' exhale. And everything is kind of this fisheye sort of camera view. So you can kind of tell that, it's like he's getting faded.
Yeah.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, this lady with these little skivvies, she's got a mesh top, no bra, green feather earrings. She just comes walking in. Got a very just like taking no shit.
Yep.
She's all business.
Yep.
And she just starts making out with Cutty.
Yeah.
And then she pulls away and Cutty looks at Bodhi like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Bodhi's like, you still like females, right?
Yeah.
And he does. So he starts kissing her again. And then she leads him into a room and out comes another lady and they're pulling his shirt off. And Slim Charles says, he home now.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the episode.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Cutty. Why didn't Cutty go? Grace was going to set him up, right?
With a job?
With a job or with an interview or something. Why didn't he even go try that? It would have been better than sitting in the back of some guy's
Mm-hmm.
truck
Mhm.
and doing this, I need seis hombres kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Well, I
frustrated.
mean, you don't fuck with the program, right? I mean, you just
Guess
kind of
so.
stick with what
yeah,
you
why
know.
you gotta go and fuck with the program.
Yeah.
Just stick with what you know.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This was a good episode, Chris.
You liked it?
I liked this episode a lot.
Just there a ton of stuff happened. All of our
Ton of
lot
stuff
of favorite.
happens.
Yeah.
I mean, just great scenes,
Mhm.
great dialogue
Yeah.
in this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really, really liked this episode. It's
Okay.
a great follow up from last
Okay.
week. I mean, I don't like the one thing is that, school spirit kind of thing that leads to the college. That was a little late, but everything else in this episode is bomb.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like things are starting to,
Yeah.
it not necessarily even move forward, but it does, like you don't know where they're going, but it does feel
Yeah.
like some momentum's being gained.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of, again, like it just, last time we talked about how many scenes there were and how much, the same thing. I mean, they are like doing a bunch of stuff.
This
So
one
it's
took
really
me a
kind
long
of,
time to take notes on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just had to give credit to JD Williams, Bodie. He the interaction he had with some Charles on the corner,
Yeah.
where he's like, now I'm standing like an asshole, and just like, oh man, and then of course in the party, like he doesn't do much in the party, but he's like, shit is on,
Shit is on.
I love that. So,
Got to.
yeah. So okay, well, cool. That got us to the end. So
Yeah.
and I'm glad you liked this. I'm
I
glad you liked the
did.
episode. So season 3 is routinely considered not they're only 5, but it's routinely considered one of the either the top or one of the top for
Oh,
most people. So,
really? Okay.
yeah. Okay, I did have a couple of things I forgot to mention and I noticed I did not interrupt you, so I'm
Hey, I mean, you can, Chris, if you got stuff to say.
No,
get it in there.
It wasn't worth interrupting, but I did want when Bunk and McNulty were at the bar. Bunk says, "I dare that to walk by me again. She better not." That's a great line. I love that line.
God made that.
Yeah, God made that. Yeah, it's so good. And then,
a dog.
yeah, and then McNulty going same way.
Same way, yeah.
That's a boss way to order.
That is a
Good
very
stuff.
boss way.
And then I got to give credit to Rhonda when she does she pulls the letter over,
Yes.
and makes
The lean
Daniels
back.
just
Yeah.
A+ move. So good job by Rhonda. So enjoy that. Okay, well let's get to our categories. So we have a couple of music items. So it's funny. The music that's playing in the truck next to Cutty when he's on the way to the job site is called Splash Waterfalls by Ludacris.
Okay.
And the line that you hear is "fuck me" like a woman is saying "fuck me." So
Oh,
man,
really?
Ludacris did not a lot of subtlety to that guy. Not that he's a good
seriously.
musician and a decent actor, but just thought that was funny. Let's see what else we got. "My Life Extra" by DJ Technics was the house party music. The one I want by El Rey is what is playing in the bar when he talks to Teresa D'Agostino.
Okay.
And then "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" is when Bunk is trying to get the ladies at the bar. Essentially. So he's there. You go. He's clearly on the prowl. And and then I noticed that also. It wasn't on Tune Find, which is where I get all these. "Keeping the Faith." I heard "Keeping the Faith" by Billy Joel. So this is the third
no
episode
way.
in a row where so that was actually in the bar before the conversation between Teresa and Carcetti was the one where he is going up to walk with her. So I don't know. Again, like he was talking about trying to keep the city and all that. So I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so then let's get to the killer cameos. We know the answer, but I'm gonna just call out a couple of honorable mentions. Cutty's girl in the house party. I mean, she shows up. She doesn't have a speaking part, but she definitely made an impression. So good job, whatever your name is. Harry the Deeds guy with half his teeth, but of course the winner.
Yeah,
is
Vera Hawley,
Vera
the
Hawley.
principal.
You got it. So yeah, she's so good,
so good,
so good. Yeah, I wish we could see more of her. For her.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, that gets us to the Mr. Nugget's life lessons. So I think I mentioned the one before, but I'll just mention a couple of other ones here, and then I'll reiterate. Don't ever say you got a tinkle when you're talking to other adults. That is ridiculous. No adult should ever say that.
Never say
no matter
that.
how. Yeah, there's no percentage in it for you. I don't know what you're doing. I already mentioned the move by Rhonda, having a letter boss move. Going to Carcetti and the guys saying, I would be surprised if it wasn't an African American who perpetrated the crime. You can be a racist and still use the politically correct terms. Like just, so just remember that just because you're like ticking the box, I'm not saying racist stuff. You can still be a racist.
Yes.
So just felt like that. But I think I'm just kind of, it's the what I mentioned about Bubbles already, which is, if you only take a snapshot of somebody and you're like making judgments on them, you're not treating them like a human. You're treating them like a picture. And, a picture says, no, a picture can say 1,000 words, but obviously if you want to know somebody's life story, you have to actually listen to them and understand them and really get to the root of them and so on and so forth, as opposed to just making people, painting them with one brush, a broad brush kind of thing. So, just take the extra, every time you feel like you're judging somebody, you think you know somebody just based on a snapshot, slow down. Because I can't think of a scenario where it helps you if you're trying to do something kind of more than just get from point A to point B. Like, the reason I'm bringing all this up is like there's a book called The Gift of Fear, where if you see somebody walking on the street, for example, and you get a weird sense, like get to the other side of the street, like don't like acknowledge that fear, but that's like a very specific scenario, right? That's like personal safety, and don't take any chances, because there's no, again, like in the other way, it's like there's no point in not acknowledging that feeling in that moment, because it's not like you're working with this person. You're not going to see them again. Exactly. You're just like, I got this weird feeling. I'm moving away, getting myself to a safe distance. So, and despite what people might say is, yes, if someone is, if I'm a white guy, if I see someone of an African American and I see them walking towards me, I get a weird feeling. You can call me a racist if you want, but I'm just like, it's a feeling, and that's all I'm reacting to. I'm not making any other judgment about the person. It's just like, that's a feeling I got. You know what I mean? And so I could fight that and say, no, I gotta be, but I'm not judging the person. I'm just kind of responding to the feelings. Hopefully that makes sense.
I think that makes sense. I think it's like if you don't acknowledge it though, then how can you begin to change?
Well, okay. So that brings me to, so let me put it a different way. If you saw a man walking towards you, irrespective of what, you saw me walking towards you, and you got a weird feeling, right? Would that make you, a man hater if you walk to the other side of the street? No, it wouldn't, right? Because you're just responding to your feeling,
right?
Now, but as you said, I on that score, you're correct. So I just want to make sure it's clear, that it's like, you can take a snapshot and make a judgment, but if it's about personal safety, but if it's like, okay, I want to understand somebody, then you have to go past the snapshot. Yeah,
exactly.
So I hope that was a really shitty way to explain that. But yes, but you're right though. Like, you do have to know your own tendencies. And that's a really excellent point. In fact, one thing that always stuck with me from Malcolm Gladwell's Blink book was he talked about how people would view, they were shown pictures of people, and they would say like positive or negative. And probably not surprisingly, when a white person was shown a picture of an African American, that they generally responded negatively.
Yeah.
But when an African American saw a picture of an African American, also they was biased towards negative.
Yeah.
And so the point is, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And that is part of kind of what's shaping it, is that you have to acknowledge that, recognize that's part of who you, like a bias that you have.
Yes.
Not necessarily conscious. It's just kind of what's part of you. And so, and then as you said, like, you have to change.
They've even done this with children, where they gave, white children and black children white and black dolls, and asked them which one was the good one and which one was the bad one. And even the black children chose black dolls as the bad one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Interesting. Was that in like, I don't know anything about this. Was it, what was the context? Was it like, were they they obviously were in school or something like that?
Yeah. It was a psychological study, but they were just kind of examining, just how young these kind of biases occur and who they occur with. And
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So
we got to work on this shit.
Yeah, but it's a great button on the point,
Right.
which is these biases get introduced early,
Yeah.
and almost certainly not intentionally,
For
right?
sure.
It's just you don't know where it comes from.
For
so.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. Well, thank you for taking me on and not judging me too harshly for whatever. Okay. Well, that gets us to the end of the episode. In terms of how well the episode held up, I didn't necessarily see a lot of like.
I don't know that there are a lot of things where I can make the kinds of parallels that make me say that.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then let us
Or
get
make me
your.
help me make a decision on that, or
Sure.
have an opinion on that, I should say.
Okay. Well, we can skip past that and let's talk about your predictions. Now, you did say the burner phones are going to play a big role.
Yeah.
So got that. Avon is getting out. Got that.
Okay.
All right. And what else? Anything else?
Okay. Yeah. I think Colvin's gonna be successful with this move to Amsterdam. He's gonna come up with something else to entice them over there. I don't know what it is, but he's gonna get them over there.
Okay.
I think. I don't know if he just like orders a whole bunch of pizzas to show up there or what, but something. I was thinking that when they were in that gym, I was like, if you had given them snacks, they would have shut up and been eating, and then they would listen to you.
Now
Sorry.
that's
As
a life
thing
lesson right there. There you go.
Shut them up
Yeah.
with food,
Yeah.
then they'll listen. So yeah, I think he's going to get him over there. I think, let's see here. Man, I know Bunk's looking for Omar, but he's looking for Omar. He's still trying to look for Peanut, but I don't think he's going to get there.
Okay.
Next episode.
Okay.
I still think he is going to be looking.
Okay.
It's going to get
All right.
pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
Cutty's going to be back in the mix. I mean, I already know that. I don't know if there's anything else to add. I'm just wondering, things are going to erupt with Marlo, I'm sure. I just don't know if that's going to happen already this next episode, or if we have some more lead up to it. I mean, I know Marlo's ready for war, but Stringer does not want that.
Yep.
He tried to get Bodhi to talk to Marlo.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if, I don't know, will Stringer try to talk to Marlo and broker some kind of peace? It will eventually come to blows. I do feel like that will happen.
Okay.
But like I said, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Some steps have to be taken.
Got it. Okay. Not coming to blows yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good. Let's see. Anything? Let's see. McNulty has one more episode to
Yep.
Figure out something with Stringer.
Yep.
You think he's going to get something?
Yes.
Okay. We'll get something with Stringer.
Yep. I think so.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you're at 6 now. So
Okay.
if you want to stop there.
I think so. I mean, it could probably make something for Carcetti, but I just don't think that there's anything. Like, I don't think he's going to announce his campaign yet.
Right. Okay. Cutty will not announce his campaign. Okay,
No.
I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Not announced yet. Okay, sounds good.
All right.
All right. Well, good job.
Woo!
Boy, I was coming in. I was like, oh man, I wasn't sure that there was that much stuff, but man, there was a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff in this one.
Okay. Well, we will be back next week to cover season 3, episode 5, Straight and True.
Straight and True.
Okay. So, Ellie, as always, thank you so much for a great episode.
Thanks, Chris.
And we will see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Aronchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time...
Shit is on.